Hello and welcome to the Needle News Show with me, Luke Anthony. Now today I'm joined again obviously by our President Bonjo, but firstly, can you tell the fact from the fake? Or are you just a gullible prick who just believes anything you see, read or hear? Now people have been excited today, especially train spotters and plane spotters, and I'll tell you why. Because the Laughter Republic have had their aeroplanes out and about, searching and monitoring the way we are dealing with the lockdown in the UK. I mean, train spotters have had the best of both worlds, and I'll tell you why that, and plane spotters, because planes, his Laughter Republican military planes, have been flying through the underground to ensure that social distancing measures are adhered to by the TfL and the underground. Now, we've got a very good live show for you tonight, but the thing is that the Laughter Republic is running out of money. I mean, we're going to get onto a question about this, and they've had 2p this week donated to the Laughter Republic, which is not a lot of money at all. So we need your support. We're going to run this as a 30-minute show, and if you donate, we'll continue for longer. So it's up to you. It is up to you, the people. As you can see up there, we've got the military plane, which is the president's, and over there we have the consequences for not following the lockdown rules. So please welcome to the show the award winner. Oh, who gives a shit about his accolades? Here's President Bonjo. Hello, Mr. President.
Hey, how are you, Luke? How are you?
I'm very well, Mr. President. I can't be bothered to introduce you properly because, do you know what? We've been there so many times. I know you really well now. And there you go. That's it. As you can see, I really don't give a shit because I'm even wearing a hoodie today. So there you go. I'm trying to be more African like Trevor Noah.
Yeah, I know. You like to copy black people, don't you? But anyway, I'm not going to get really angry. I actually like the fact that you have discovered that we have our planes in the United Kingdom right now. We are trying my best. I've arrived with my people to try and not only help our British friends, but we are here to take back our people, to take Laughter Republicans back to Baghdad.
Okay, Mr. President. Well, let's crack on. We've got a very, very sharp show today that we need to do. So what has your military response been? I mean, I've just mentioned about your aeroplanes and everything else, but how are you feeling about the current situation and the phase 2 of lifting the lockdown?
Look, I can understand why British people are very, very confused with the speech that the dear leader of Britain delivered on Sunday. It was really, really, really confusing. And this is one of the reasons why I decided that I will instruct my people, the Laughter Republic Army, to come over and to do something for the United Kingdom. It was so confusing that there were people who were going into work apparently on Monday when they weren't supposed to go back into work until Wednesday. I suspect the fact that there was bank holiday, which happened to be a Friday rather than a Monday, people were confused. But anyway, the message was so confusing that we had no choice but to take the opportunity to invade British airspace and underground to protect not only British people, but to also protect my people. And that is why, because you cannot fight General COVID is out there, okay? General COVID is out there looking for the next black person, yeah? And we know that a lot of black people, not that the other race doesn't matter, but we know that the people who have been affected the most, the race that is being affected the most is black people. And we would do anything as Laughter Republic to protect all races, but most importantly, the fact that black people are being killed, we had no choice because these civilian leaders are basically not doing what they're supposed. You cannot have a civilian strategy for an invisible enemy. You need to make sure you have a military strategy. And that is why I have stepped in with Laughter Republic.
Okay, so with that in mind, and with the vague instructions from Mr. Johnson, what clear guidelines would you give to the British people and also the Laughter Republicans?
I would say you stay at home. Stay at home. That is what you need to do. There is no other choice. You cannot put, and it's very rich for me as an undemocratic leader, and this is what's so difficult because I am conflicted. I am an undemocratic leader, and I should be saying the economy should come first before the people. But look, having spent a lot of time with my dear friend Jeremy Corbyn, you know, when he was the leader of the opposition, we spent quality time together, and he has changed my mindset. And my view is that it's the people that the country should be worrying about, you know, and not the economy. You people rather than profits. And right now, it feels like the government, the British government, is aiming for profits rather than people. You hear people talk about the economy rather than about the people. I mean, my understanding, if my facts are right, well over 60,000 people have died in the United Kingdom. So what is it thinking about? Getting people out there to get infected? There will be a second wave, Luke. Mark my words. And that's why you need a military response to get rid of General COVID. There are 19 generals from the COVID army right now looking to kill British people.
That's extremely worrying. Now, obviously, this doesn't come without opposition, doesn't come without difficulties, and sometimes other places and other people get in the way of things. We have a message from Sean Dissanayake, and he has to say, "Hello, President. I have some vital information for you. It's from Wakanda Intelligence on General COVID. He has entered your airspace with Wakandan tech. We request permission to enter and strike her down before she gets out of control. Please, if you do not give permission, lives will be lost and we cannot continue our feud. Let us work together on this occasion." From the steward and current Black Panther. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, ever since I have been to the limelight of this COVID response internationally, and because Laughter Republic is the leading fictional country rather than Wakanda, Wakanda seems to want to interfere in our affairs. And I will not accept what Sean is basically saying right now. I think he is a mole. I genuinely think he is a traitor. You know, Sean used to be a Laughter Republic citizen. And as soon as they did a film how many years ago called Black Panther, he absconded. He left. And you know what we do with people who leave our country. And he's never been able to come back. And he keeps providing information that is fake news. We are fine. And I don't understand why he continues to invade. Wakanda should find their own TV station. They should find their own. Why are they coming to my platform and trying to interrupt what we are doing?
I agree, Mr. President. I don't know what... I mean, he saw that... I don't understand why he still asked that question, because he saw the images at the start of this video that clearly showed the consequences for someone who breaks the lockdown or somebody who betrays the Laughter Republicans and obviously you yourself. So he's obviously not listening, and we know what happens to people that don't listen. They get to go on epoxy.
I just genuinely don't understand why he's invading this page, this TV station, why he feels, because he's lucky to be alive because he's no longer a Laughter Republic citizen. And I think what's happened here is because Laughter Republic has become the leading nation, the leading fictional nation in the entire world. You've not heard of Zamunda, you've not heard of Wakanda for a while, you haven't heard of Nambia. They are all no longer in existence. And Laughter Republic is the one who's leading from a fictional country the COVID response to help these non-fictional countries.
So you mentioned Jeremy Corbyn there, but obviously everyone knows that Keir Starmer is now the leader of the Labour Party. And in previous conversations, you had criticism for Keir Starmer, and I had raised the conspiracy that he had been sleeping with one of your 6 wives. Luckily, not your newest addition to your ladyhood from your uniform dating. So, what words do you have for Keir Starmer now? Because he's clearly been very, very forthright with Boris Johnson.
Well, I look, I won't, despite the differences that I had previously with Keir Starmer, I have been very, very impressed with his. I said to someone, I was talking to the Tanzanian president, and one of the beauty of staying in England is we get to see what your British politics is like. And right now, Keir Starmer reminds me of Inspector Colombo. I actually call Keir Starmer Inspector Starmer because he has turned the House of Commons into a crime scene. It's as if every time he asks the question about the COVID response to your dear leader, Boris Johnson, he's all over the place. It's as if he's gathering evidence so that the British government could be prosecuted in The Hague. Can you imagine? The tables have turned. Normally, it is African dictators that get scrutinized in The Hague. But every time I watch the House of Commons, it's like a crime scene. He's doing a fantastic job. He's calm. He's behaving like a friend. He's actually behaving like a colonizer. He comes, befriends you, says he wants to work with you, but he's actually grinding behind your back and exposing all your faults. I genuinely believe that Boris Johnson will be removed as prime minister in the next couple of months, if not a year.
Wow, that's quite a claim. I'm glad that's on record as well, because this will be published after this live broadcast. Now, on the Catch Up TV, this is on Facebook. Now, Sean Dissanayake has said something, but I have a response for him for you on behalf of the Laughter Republicans, Mr. President. And he says Wakanda will aid Baghdad. Now, given the fact that you've had only 2 pence donated to the Laughter Republicans, isn't that an insult? If he really wants to put his money where his mouth is, he can donate to the paypal.me/Needy News and support the Laughter Republicans and, of course, President Bonjo to help fight General COVID. So he's full of double standards, and I feel like he's obviously infiltrating you from the BBC or E4. I don't think he's actually from Wakanda, and he's pretending to be part of the fictional place of Wakanda. I'm a bit concerned about your national security.
I like that, Luke. And I think one of the tasks that we need to do for next week is I'm going to task you, because you're doing pretty well now in terms of being a current affairs journalist. I've moved you in terms of levels. Number one, previously when we started, you were level 1. Now you moved to level 2, level 3, like a traffic signal, level 4 now. You're now level 4.5. Yeah, there are 7 levels. One of the things you need to do for me is you need to be an investigative journalist. And we need to find out who this Sean is so that we can talk about him next week when we meet. That's what you need to do for me. An investigative journalism.
We'll do that in the spirit of investigative journalism. Can I just remind you that actually my rating as a journalist was minus 4.5 when we first started this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've said just like the COVID response rate levels, you are just like a temperature. You are getting better. So the mentoring that I have been doing for you behind the scenes is actually working. It's been fantastic to tell you off in public, because you who knows, maybe in a year's time you start behaving like Piers Morgan, but right now you're getting it absolutely right.
Actually, Mr. President, that brings me on to a very important question. Now, obviously, you may have seen Piers Morgan's life stories a while back when Donald Trump appeared on it, and he sucked up to him. He was such a little baby about it, and everything that Donald Trump wanted to say, Piers Morgan just licked his ass and said anything he wanted, right? And drove the conversation, so it made President Trump look very good. Now, they've been at blows with each other on Twitter, and Piers Morgan has announced his breakup with Donald Trump. What are your thoughts on that? And do you support Donald Trump or do you support Piers Morgan?
I don't support either. I can't support a president who is racist. I cannot support a president who has created genocide in America. I cannot support a president who said that it was just a flu and it's ended up killing well over 100,000 Americans. Look, I can't support either. I think Piers Morgan has got it absolutely wrong, but he's got his knickers in a twist. And I just think Piers Morgan is just like the weather. He moves just like the British weather. When it's hot, it's hot. When it's cold, it's cold. It was important for Piers Morgan to fall out. Who knows? Maybe they've even done a deal. This might be a ploy. They've done a deal. You tell me off. Create some news, because obviously, Trump is in trouble right now, as far as I'm concerned. He's in real trouble. I genuinely believe it's not in the basket for him in terms of the elections. And if I were him, I don't want to give him advice that will go against African Americans, but he should really behave like a real dictator, suspend the whole constitution so that he can make sure that come November 2020, there is no election, because I believe Biden, Sleepy Biden, is going to beat him.
Okay.
So I'm not for Piers Morgan, because Piers Morgan doesn't even follow me on Twitter.
Oh, idiot! I don't understand.
Not that I'm telling. No.
He loves a good. Mr. President, you say that about. So you're basically advising Donald Trump to be a dictator and just cancel the election, just like Kim Jong-un would, and you would with the Laughter Republic.
Yeah, definitely. There's no point. There's no point, because as far as I'm concerned, the economy is tanking. People have died in America. Lots of people have died in America. They have the highest. They're going to go through a deep recession, and then he's trying to blame Obama for everything. Obama is not even in the White House, and he's still trying to blame my uncle Obama. It's just unbelievable. Black people are always cleaning up the mess.
Yeah.
He cleaned up the mess, and then he's made a mess. And it shouldn't be about race, because this is not about race. But Trump has made it a race issue. But Trump is, what I'm talking about.
I'm saying power to the people. Wear your hoodie.
Yeah, wear your hoodie. Yeah, if you want to wear a hoodie. But I am saying, categorically saying that, if you want to, yeah. But the thing about it is that you can wear a hoodie on the streets and not get stopped. If I wear a hoodie, no matter how it will stop me. You know that for a fact.
Yes,
nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, even in the COVID era. Nothing has changed for my people. But that is a separate issue entirely. But Trump needs to change the constitution, cancel the election in November, or he's going to lose, because he said that he was having a very good time in terms of the economy, and the economy has tanked, and he's in trouble.
Okay, Mr. President. Now, obviously, I have to draw attention to your attire today. You're dressed very, very smart and very threatening. Now, as everyone knows in the world, that General COVID has entered the White House with Donald Trump. Will you go on record now to say that you will not stop with any limits to go into the White House and take down General COVID if you need to, with your military, with your planes, and with your assassins?
I will do anything to protect my audience. I will do anything to protect my current audience and my future audience. So if that means me going into the White House, even though that's news to me that General COVID is there, then I will. But this is what's really interesting. Let me just give you this thought. There are 19 COVID soldiers. COVID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 19. Have you thought about it? So they have infected, these 19 soldiers have infected 192 countries. How are they doing it? How many of these soldiers are here right now in the United Kingdom?
I don't know. I don't know these figures. I need to investigate this.
That's another investigative journalism that you need to do.
Yes.
19 soldiers. And these 19 soldiers are strong enough to infect and kill people all over the world.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to address our audience right now. As you know, that this is a free live broadcast. But the trouble is with this live broadcast is that it's free. And the Laughter Republic desperately needs money. Now, we're only going to be doing this until about 35 minutes long. We're at 23, 24 minutes now. But if you wanted to go on for an hour, if you donate £5 to the paypal.me/nearly news, then we'll continue. If you get £5 an hour for the next 3 hours, we'll continue until, as long as you keep donating, we'll keep presenting. Okay? Just want to say that to people. If you keep donating, we'll keep going. We've got loads of content. We're very, very good.
And you know what's really interesting for me is the fact that someone on this page, this is another thing that you need to do. Someone on this page put 2p in our PayPal account. And that person's name is called Chris York. And he confirmed earlier on today that he put 2p. We need to find him. We need to find him. I will not tolerate 2p. I mean, what would 2p get me? It will get me jelly babies. Maybe just one jelly baby.
Yeah, you'd be lucky now.
Yeah. What am I going to do with 2p? What kind of an insult? That's why world leaders are corrupt. Because you can't rely on putting content out there. And look, 2p. I've never been so insulted in my life. Never.
Well, I would hate to think that he must be very, very worried. And we have a comment from one of your, I think one of your supporters, Dave Ale. He said, "It's so soothing to hear your words, Mr. President. I'm your loyal driver. Obonjo gives COVID the KO."
Oh, send my regards to my lovely driver, Dave Ale. Dave and I go a long way back, but I haven't seen him for a couple of years. I am actually quite pleased that he's alive and well, and he has joined us on TV. Send him my regards. And yes, I won't deny the fact that he was my driver. And yes, I'm not sure where he... Can you ask him where he is now? Where is he located?
You can ask him.
I know he...
Let's comment, shall I? Mr. President, you can comment for us. I wonder what he's going to say about this.
Because I know he was deported from Baghdad. He had no papers. That's why we deported him. And I know we deported him back to Luton. And I'm not sure that shithole place called Luton, but I don't know whether he's still very much there.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, let's move on, Mr. President. We need to move on with this interview. Yeah. Now, also in your week, your people had let me know that LinkedIn is a big part of your thing, and you've been approached about getting an MBE, and your people tell me that you're not very happy about this.
It was the greatest insult. I wish I could show you the letter that I received from this lady called Helen, or whatever her name, Anne, English name called Anne. She had the audacity to write to me on LinkedIn and didn't even observe protocol. She just said, "Hi, Mr. President." Me, "Hi, Mr. President." Rather than His Excellency, Dr. Fidelis Majuku Obonjo III, the greatest, the original African dictator. Not His Excellency, nothing. And then she had the audacity to find out. She actually said that she was inquiring whether I'd be interested in doing an MBA because my job role will suit a president. My presidency is now a job role in the United Kingdom. Can you imagine the insult, Luke? So I wrote back to her because I know world leaders, when world leaders are they are awarded doctorate degrees, aren't they? They're not, I don't have to study for 2 years to get an MBA. And even if I wanted an MBA, surely I should have an MBA for good governance. I should have an MBA for dictatorship. That is what they should award me, an honorary degree, an honorary professional qualification. I am really angry. And she hasn't responded.
And obviously the biggest accolade for a president like yourself is the Nobel War Prize. That's got to be the biggest accolade.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that once the COVID is over because I have done what I can to help these nations. But the MBA really should be awarded to me as an honorary degree.
Just automatically. Yes.
Automatically.
Yeah.
For good governance and for dictatorship. For execution. for assassinations, for oppression, for curtailing freedom of speech. 11 years as president, and this woman wants me, regards my presidency as a job profile. Oh, anyway.
Mr. President, it's good to know though that people like Darren Orr are saying good evening, Your Excellency. You know, obviously your people have a huge amount of respect for you, and that's absolutely clear in the comments that we get on these live broadcasts.
Look, I am very pleased. My people know once they are born in Laughter Republic, they swear allegiance to me straight away. You know, most of them happen to be my children. So, you know, they're inducted. When you go to school, you're inducted about how to address me, how to respect me, how to obey me, how to obey the laws of Laughter Republic. So I'm not surprised. But you've never ever called me His Excellency at all, because you are not part. I met you on the streets in Britain, you know, somewhere in Brixton. Don't know what you were doing in Brixton, but I met you in Brixton. And yes.
I was trying to get a kebab. It's what we call a working class panini.
Yeah, but it's lovely. It is really lovely to hear from Darren Orr. Darren Orr, I haven't seen him in ages. I believe it's a he.
It is, I believe it's a he. I think Darren is a he's name. Yeah, Mr. President, what other things have been bothering you in the news recently? I'd love to know your thoughts on you know what's going on in the news at the moment, because obviously at difficult times, it's, you know, we're lifting the lockdown in parts of the UK, and you know it's so many celebrities are releasing a special COVID-19 collaborations of songs. You know, the Foo Fighters teamed up with a load of people like Rita Ora, who's one of the most sexiest people on the planet, and they did Times Like These, which is a lovely song. Now, what sort of collaborations are you doing during this time?
I am my own man. I refuse to do any collaborations with people who don't swear allegiance to me. And I have found it really difficult to trust people since my attempted coup last year with E4 and BBC Studios. But, you know, I am open to collaboration. When people approach me and they are vetted and they pledge their allegiance, then yes. And that's one of the reasons why you are sitting where you are sitting right now, talking to me.
I am obviously dedicated with you. Darren Orr says he is in Luton with Dave Ale, your comedy comrade.
Oh.
So
they I remember they were both deported. They were both deported from Baghdad because they didn't have
visas.
The pay. And you know, I brought a law because since the revolution, there have been lots of single women, and I offered Darren Orr and the other guy's name some women because we were trying to promote polygamy, and they refused.
Wow.
They refused. They said it was a one man, one woman attitude that they had, and so I deported them, moved them away.
Unbelievable. Mr. President, now I need to give the people of the Laughter Republic and across the world the 5-minute warning. We're going to do 5 more minutes of this live broadcast because we've even gone over our 30-minute agreement. Now, if you donate now and you donate £5 to the paypal.me/Nearly News and you do that before this 5 minutes is up, we'll continue going. If you don't, or if we don't continue doing it, or you donate after this time, then we'll do an additional broadcast if you want to. But it's all down to you. It's down to you who you want to watch this. You need to donate to keep this show going because the Laughter Republic is insulted by 2 pence, and he needs his assassins, he needs his aircrafts, and needs the guns to ensure that we stop and kill General COVID once and for all.
Yeah.
It's very important. Now, Mr. President, we haven't got much more time left, so we need to wrap up. We need to leave these people with some inspiration, with some words of wisdom that can help them get through the next phase of COVID-19.
Okay, my people, you know I love you all. I know that the message that you have got from your government has been very confusing. There are two things I want you to do for me. You can get it on Amazon. Number one, if you have been following this, you know that we've got a cure for COVID. You need to start drinking Hilarium. Hilarium is a very good juice made by the Laughter Republic medical practitioners. They are available on Amazon for £10. Hilarium. Eat your lunch regularly. Your lunch is the most important part of your meal during the day. And you can order a roasted heckler. Let me repeat that. A roasted heckler for lunch. If you have Hilarium every day and a roasted heckler at lunchtime, you'll be okay. Don't believe what they're saying about mouthwash. This is the latest I've heard. They said mouthwash can protect you from COVID. If you're doing mouthwash, do it, but don't drink it. You will die if you drink it. That's all I have to say. Stay alert. Stay alert.
Mr. President, I think we can leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me again. And once again, congratulations on your nomination with the Malcolm Hardee Award. You know, it's been, I mean, you won the Malcolm Hardee Award, but I mean, the nomination you had for the being part of the Comedy Association was a huge award. But hopefully we can get you the Nobel War Prize.
You are doing very well. I told you, you have improved. There are several levels for journalism. You are now 5. And we will see how you perform. But don't forget what I told you. Investigative journalism is what we need to focus on next week. Find out who this Sean is and find out who this Chris York is who contributed 2p to my PayPal account. Thank you so much.
Good night, Mr. President. Thank you and take care and stay safe.
Good night.
So there you have it. That was your president, Mr. Obonjo. He was in really good spirits tonight. I'm really impressed with the way he spoke to me today. He's been very, very positive, which is good to see from our president, Mr. Obonjo. Now, obviously, we need you to donate. We're going to finish this broadcast now, but donate to us. PayPal.me/Nearly News, and you can support the Laughter Republic and President Obonjo during this time of no gigs and no opportunities to speak to you, the people, in comedy clubs. Thank you so much for joining me on the Nearly News show. Now, you have to remember, you have to be able to tell the difference from the fact from the fake. And if you can't, you're just a gullible prick who believes anything you read, see, or hear. Thank you for joining me. Good night and take care. Stay safe, stay at home, and stay fucking alert, especially when you're driving. Cheers.